Okay, for the next group of problems, it's going to ask us to find each value of theta in degrees, and then it says 0 degrees is less than theta is less than 90 degrees, and radians, and then it says 0 is less than theta is less than pi over 2 without using a calculator. And then the problem they gave us is sine of theta equals root 3 over 2. So first of all, let's talk about these instructions. What they're asking us to do is they're asking us to find an angle. An angle whose sine value is square root of 3 over 2. Then they want to know that answer in degrees, but only from 0 to 90, which would mean if it's only from 0 to 90, we're only in quadrant 1. And then they also want the same answer in radians, but only from 0 to pi over 2, which means if it's from 0 to pi over 2, we're also only in quadrant 1. So basically what they're saying is, they're saying go to your unit circle, hang out only in quadrant 1, and figure out what angle there gives me a sine value of square root of 3 over 2. Well, if they're asking for a sine value here, that would mean what has happened is, to get the answer of square root of 3 over 2, I rotated some angle. I don't know how far I went, but I rotated some angle. I stopped, I intersected. When I got there, I looked at the ordered pair, and because this was a sine function, it told me to choose the y value of that ordered pair. So however much I rotated, the y value there was square root of 3 over 2, because we did the sine value. So what we're doing is on the unit circle, because I recognize this is one of the ordered pairs from the unit circle. I recognize that. Since this is sine, it's the y value that's the square root of 3 over 2. So what we're doing is we're going to the unit circle and looking for that angle of rotation. And that angle of rotation there, again, I have the unit circle memorized in radians, so I always start with radians, although I have to give it both answers. So the radians that this would be equivalent to would be pi over 3, and then pi over 3 is equal to 60 degrees. So the way that I did that, and this is why we had to memorize the unit circle, is in my mind, I was going to quadrant 1 and looking for a y value that was the square root of 3 over 2. So when I go to quadrant 1 on my unit circle and I have my choices, here's my first ordered pair. Its y value is not square root of 3 over 2. So my angle is not pi over 6. My second one, the y value is square root of 2 over 2, not square root of 3 over 2. This angle was pi over 4. This next angle, we had square root of 3 over 2. For the y value, hey, that's what I wanted to have. And that value is pi over 3. So the answer here is pi over 3. I just did all that mentally to get that answer, because you're not going to have that unit circle in front of you. That's why you had to memorize it. Okay, that's why you had to memorize it. You have to know both directions of the unit circle, not just to be able to rotate a certain amount and give the ordered pair, but we're going to be going the other way too and be given part of the ordered pair, and then we have to give the angle. And that's what we're doing here. Now, with the reciprocal functions, the same thing is also true. But what I would do is, if I was doing the reciprocal function, so for example, if I was told the secant of theta equals 2, I don't have the reciprocal functions memorized from the unit circle. So what I would do is I would think of this as its reciprocal function, which is cosine, And since I changed secant to its reciprocal, I'm going to change 2 to its reciprocal. So what I'm looking for on the unit circle is a cosine value of 1/2. Reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. Secant and cosine are reciprocals of each other. So I'm looking for a cosine value of 1/2. The cosine value is 1/2 at the x value being 1/2, because cosine is x value, and that also happens at pi/3, or 60 degrees. So this is what you're going to be doing in your third section of assignments today. So it's going to be these problems right here. Okay, and I'm again going to pause because otherwise they take too long to upload.